Hey guys, welcome back. BDC Kara here, and we're back with an interruption to our regular schedule because someone has final exams and can't film. Good luck, hope you do well. So we're going to do a multiplayer team video this week instead of our regularly scheduled P and Q and C and A and T video. And this multiplayer video is going to highlight Batman Ninja Batman with Batgirl and Red Lantern Hal Jordan as support cards. And just a minor note, this is sort of the final evolution of our recent series of multiplayer teams. We started off with what we called the training wheels team, Hawkgirl and Batgirl being the training wheels because they're good teammates for almost anybody you want to drop into the third slot as your main damage dealer who's a special specialist. And then the first one we did, that was Bounty Hunter Lobo. And he seemed like an obvious choice because he's got this passive that's all about his specials. Unfortunately, his special 2 isn't as good as it should be. And if anything, even Teen Titans Raven was better than him. So then our next step was we replaced Hawker with Red Lantern Hal Jordan, trying to make Hal Jordan relevant again. And we used Luchador Bane as our special specialist. And then we swapped in Ares as our special specialist because Red Lantern Hal Jordan is able to negate some of those situations where opponents have a revive from the Fourth World gear set. And this final evolution is Batman Ninja Batman as our special specialist. So we saw earlier Batman's gear loadout. He's got Tantu Totem for the repeated specials, obviously. He's got Cloak of Destiny to boost damage against a stunned opponent. Now, Batman has a great special 2 that stuns on the first part if it's unblocked, just like all of the Batgirl's special 1. So he can do a huge, ridiculous amount of damage. And most of the time that's wasted, except we put the Fourth World Mace on him to spread some of that splash damage. And if it maxes out, if a special 2 maxes out the way it should, then each of the opponents is getting more than 70,000 splash damage. So Batgirl is a support character that's got enough offensive potential in case things go sideways. So you saw the gear loaded earlier. Master's Death Cart, Lexcorp Gauntlets, Nekron Scythe. And we've said this before, you could use League of Assassins Knives instead of Lexcorp Gauntlets. That works. But I actually prefer the almost certain crit chance on special 1 and knocking someone out to take advantage of the Nekron's Scythe's ability to get a revive once you knock somebody out versus the risk of not critting but getting splash damage. So that's, to me, that's just much better to knock them out and get an extra ability out. And the reason why we picked Nekron's Scythe for her instead of Cloak of Destiny, they both give the boosted damage to a stunned opponent, but Master's Death Cart ruins the Cloak's tag and stun every single time. So no point wasting that ability. We'll give that to Batman, and Batgirl will get the Scythe's ability. And then finally that leaves us with Red Lantern Hal Jordan, who's got the Claw of Horus, Astro Harness, and Enchantress Companion Gear. So the main reason he's got to load it like that is his special 1 not only has a chance of breaking gear, but it also drains power, and the Enchantress effect gives an unblocked special for Batman when he's tagging in. So but there's one risk there. If Batman's Cloak of Destiny stuns and you time it badly, the Enchantress Skulls will break the stun, and if you're really unlucky, when the stun is broken and you're trying to do your special 2, the opponent can actually block that. So in this first fight we saw, the main danger is Rebirth Raven, because if you use Batman's special 2 to knock out her teammate and she tags in, his power gets drained absolutely. Now, unlike other characters' multi special 2s, his special 2 doesn't offer any protection against tagging effects, and for Rebirth Raven's tagging effect, that's the power drain, because the other characters with multi special 2s, the tail end of the special 2 after they've knocked out the first person offers a little bit of protection. So like you saw in that fight, the strategy can be to just go ahead and use a special 2 and hope she doesn't tag in next. In this case she did though, and even if she does, the splash damage of more than 70,000 on each of the opponents is worth it. Your other option in this sort of team loadout is to use Batgirl. Now the second fight is great because it's going to give us a chance to really showcase sort of the optimum strategy. So we're going to drain Batgirl so she's going to be no danger, tag in Batman, block so that when the Enchantress Skulls hit, now that was a bit of a mistake because she's blocking. Instead of hitting the special 2, we touched a different part of the screen and it ended up giving not as much damage. So you see Ares still has a lot of his health left, and he's blocking too, so he's not getting knocked out. So that messes up the strategy. But then you're also seeing the beauty of the rest of the team where they are support characters, but they're strong enough to do their own damage. Now the problem is, because we're relying on special 2 with Batman, we're not going to tag him in right away. We're just going to maybe nibble away at Luchador Bane, drain his power, so he's not going to be any danger, because you can't tag in anymore. He's not really a problem at all. And we've got more than enough health left on Red Lantern Hal Jordan to just keep using his specials, but we can just finish him off. Okay. Yeah, Batman Special 2, despite not being single hit, is effectively a single hit because it can't go over more than one opponent. In fact, only the last hit can knock out an opponent, so if there's a revive, the hundreds of thousands of damage might look nice, but your opponent will still be standing and you won't get power back. Okay, so there's Rebirth Raven again. And so, again, same thing. We can just go ahead and use our strategy so that if she comes in with her Special 2, we've done enough damage to everybody else. Even if she does enough damage when we're blocking to knock us out, we're not going to be too worried about it. So the cool thing is, I mean, this team, you've seen already a few fights, this team can give you a huge amount of damage, but because of the limitation of Batman Special 2 in concert with his sort of super ability with it, it's less effective in multiplayer. And listen, it might be worth it because the amount of splash damage on the opponents puts them down to almost nothing, but it's difficult when there's a revive, and the only revive that we can counter is the one that's the Fourth World Gear set on the first person, because Red Lantern Hal Jordan can take care of that. It won't take care of the Blackest Night Hawkgirl team with Blackest Night Flash, because that's not a gear ability. All right, so the next fight we've got... Okay, so this is actually interesting because our strategy of doing so much splash damage is great against Dawn of Justice Batman. If he's the last person tagging in, the splash damage will reduce him to almost nothing, and we don't even need to worry about what it'll take to bring him down, that he'll be dodging any specials. So if we're lucky, Arkham Knight Batman will be the second one to tag in, and we're getting... Oh, and there we go. All right, so we got our Special 2 unblocked. We're going to see how much splash damage we do. Oh yeah, more than 100,000 splash damage. So if we do it one more time against Arkham Knight Batman, Dawn of Justice Batman's going to come in with really no health. There we go, nothing. Now, unfortunately, he's got Astro Harness, so it's going to take a while. We're going to wait for the one invulnerability. We're going to kill a little bit of time with their Special 1. And yeah. Oh, right, there's a little bit of extra health. And this is really just no problem at all. Oh, I spoke too soon. And super away. Okay, so what other points are there to make about this team? The biggest risk of your Tantu Totem guy is not knocking out the opponent. So if you're relying on Special 1, that's not a problem, because you can build a bar of power with just one tag out or tag in. But if you're relying on Special 2 like you've got with this, either you need to use Master's Death card on the same character, or if you've got potential problems, especially against a power dampening team, it's not going to be enough to help you. In other words, we're relying on Batman's super powerful Special 2, and there's not a lot of margin for error. So in this fight, Blackest Night Hawkgirl will have a revive, but we're going to still lean into trying to do as much splash damage so that even if we don't finish her off with his Special 2, that whoever's left will be so weak that it would matter more if our support characters didn't have some offensive potential. So Master's Death card, actually, we mentioned that a little bit earlier in our previous fights. It's not a great option for Batman Ninja Batman, even though you want a Special 2, and Master's Death card means you can get 2 bars with each tag in. The problem and why we can't use it is Master's Death card shoves the opponent and can sometimes cause enough separation that the final part of his Special 2, which is the most important part with the damage, is it'll whiff because it's given too much distance. All right, so here's a perfect example where we're going to want to use Red Lantern Hal Jordan to get rid of Nightwing's 4th World Gear Set Revive, but that means we need to break at least 2 gears to be sure. So there's 1. Yep. So there's the animation for gear breaking, and there's a second one. So we know he's not going to have his revive. Oh, and he blocked. All right, so the problem is because it was blocked, it won't do as much splash damage as we would have liked. We just hope that it does enough to knock him out, right? So Joker's still got plenty of health, but now he's not. And he's going to, in this case, he's going to do a maxed out special 2. There we go, 100,000 splash damage. And yeah, and I guess the other point is because of the insane amount of splash damage, it's often better and faster to follow up with a special 1 to finish off the last opponent, because there's multiple hits that can keep on hitting past revive, and there's less power used if the next opponent doesn't get knocked out and you need to tag out and tag back in to get your power. You only need to generate 1 bar back because you're still holding on to 1 bar, and it's often enough to finish the opponents. So there doesn't seem to be anything really problematic in this last opponent team makeup. And yeah, the idea is that the numbers might be the most impressive, and if you're looking for that for fun, go for it, right? You can keep on doing special 2s no matter what, but the most effective and efficient way sometimes is when you're on the 3rd opponent, just do a special 1, because now there's going to be Killer Frost is going to have almost no health left. I mean, that's the good thing about his special 2 is because it doesn't knock out the last, except on the last hit, you're getting the maximum splash damage, but it comes with a cost. And there we go. That is our Batman Ninja Batman team. So a big thank you to our patrons on Patreon, especially to Consul Peasant and Edwin Felix. Actually, welcome back to Edwin Felix, who are supporting us at the top tier last word. Shawn Farrell, Daniel Simonson, Aaron Maule, and Michael DeVries, who are supporting us on the credited level. And Eddy G and Chris Wolff at the gratitude level. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Komoda.